Yo, welcome everyone to the stream. This is Anime Gateway, where we review 5 different animes, new animes from the season. These animes these seasons have been all handpicked by all of us, with one voted upon, agreed upon anime.
With our hands.
With our hands. Yeah. The animes for this season are Jujutsu Kaisen, Otherside Picnic, Yashahime Princess Half Demon, Super Cub, and no, I was gonna try to get the full name. Mushoku Tensei, Jobless Reincarnation.
This needs to be a little bit longer. It gotta be one of those entire sentences.
No, we're not doing that yet.
Yeah.
Wait until we get to the Isekai episode.
People already know. Yeah, people already know who I am. We're so hope, but we're going to be starting this off with Jujutsu Kaisen. Brief description: a boy swallows a cursed talisman, the finger of a demon, and becomes cursed himself. He enters a shaman school to be able to locate the demon's other body parts, and thus exorcise himself. A boy swallows the cursed talisman, the finger of a demon, and becomes... Wait, I already read that. What the fuck?
You just read that?
Yeah, I realized, but I don't know.
Do it again.
Look, I copy and pasted this, so I will
keep reading it over and over.
I will not.
I understand.
I probably should say it before, and this is all again pilot episode number 1, and I'll get better as time goes on.
Episode 0, baby.
Episode 0.
Pilot. Art style's gonna change, baby. We're gonna make Pearl not look ugly. It's okay, guys. Don't worry. We're gonna replace 2 of the actors. Like, you're gonna be like, what happened to them? And it's like, oh man, that just didn't work out.
So what we did is we forced ourselves to watch 3 episodes of each of the 5 animes, so we could give them each a very fair shot. Because 3 episode rule, and we could start off bad but end up becoming good.
Mm-hmm.
I could take the lead. Jujutsu Kaisen, our first one. I could say right off the back, I think the first episode definitely captivated me. I had a lot of fun with it.
I agree. I'm really glad you read that description because I didn't read it before I watched it, and like the first episode was pretty fun because of it.
Who reads descriptions?
Yeah.
Who doesn't just look at a title and go, yeah, that one?
Also, James, you're here, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Just want to make sure.
So we'll go down the line, giving our giving our thoughts on the show, giving out what we liked, what we didn't like, what we could have done a little differently. Try to keep it as brief, or try to keep it as spoiler-free as possible. However,
duly noted. None of us are anime professionals.
So we go down.
We look like them.
So we go down the list as we see here up on our Orange Juice game. So Mikey.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, like I said, I didn't read the first. I never read the description of the anime, so the first episode was pretty fun. And honestly, the whole 3 episodes I've seen were pretty damn fun.
Mm-hmm.
There's quite a bit of action. I will say, like the animation choreography are all pretty damn well done.
What is the genre for the show? Because I know one of it, but I'd like to know what these shows are categorized while we talk about them.
This was definitely like an action with
action
comedy
horror.
I
elements.
know this is a shonen and probably a comedy show, but I just want to know.
Probably an action horror.
Yeah, the horror elements are there, but not like a horror anime.
Yeah, that's scary as shit. It's not even classified as horror.
Yeah, but this is one of the anime I definitely gotta say I was most pleasantly surprised by how fun it was.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty much my thoughts so far. Without getting the specifics.
Next up the list, Nick. What give your thoughts?
I really like the energy of this show.
Yeah, agreed.
Yes.
I like how it constantly goes back and forth between this is some fucked up shit to let's take the piss out of this scenario and not act the way everyone would normally act in this way. Case in point, our main character, boy, who is just so interesting to me comparing him to any other shonen boy. He just doesn't act like any of them.
Yeah, pretty much.
Along with the fun mentor, the not as edgy dude, and an interesting fucking female lead! God damn! That was such a strong start.
The stereotypical three-man squad with the white-haired leader.
Exactly, just like Naruto. Yeah,
Yeah,
the character.
Can't even compare it to Naruto. I like all of them already.
I
Can't
agreed.
even compare. That girl's got big Nami energy.
Big
except she can
Nami
also
energy.
Yeah,
hit
she
you.
does.
Except she can also punch you. Nami has to like yell at you.
Oh no, Nami's definitely punched before.
Yeah, but
Trust me.
she isn't like punch Luffy punch. She's technical punch.
Oh yeah.
What is a technical punch?
Like she uses strategy and like she doesn't run up and hit you.
In
She has to
actual
use
combat.
like the weather stuff and she's not physically
it-
strong. She's
when it
strong
Comes
in
to
the
crewmates,
mind.
she will just lay into them. But enough about One Piece.
Yeah. The way they didn't watch One Piece, we didn't have a million things.
Don't worry, we have one of those shonen in here, so we'll get to
We
that
do.
later.
That was most of the main things
Oh.
I had.
So Jacob,
Yep. I thought overall the show was. I had a lot. Like I said, I had a lot of fun with it. The main character the beginning was a little odd. I'll give it that. With the, hey, I got this thing. Hey, I gave it to some homies. Hey, now they're in fucking trouble. I felt like that was a little too stereotypical type deal. However, as the show progressed and it has those shonen qualities, as we said, but you could tell it's trying to stray away from those other paths and try and make it be its own thing. And I think, being
According
and
to the tabs, it's adventure fiction, occult fiction, and dark fantasy.
occult, yeah, definitely.
yeah,
There's many occult themes.
I think the premise is a little weird, but it's fun. It's a fun one of how the main character dude has, hey, let's try to find this old guy's fingers so I can eat them and become whole
like how weird it
fucking
is.
yeah. Because the purpose of the show is they're trying to ward away curses. They want
That's
to
the
ward.
big bad.
That's the big thing.
and
Is
also-
curses can only be destroyed by more powerful curses. So in order to become more powerful, in order to get the most powerful curse, we have to turn main character dude into the biggest curse of them all.
Yeah. And it's interesting because it's also the power system, but also the
Yeah.
enemies and creatures
Yeah.
Exactly.
serving triple duty for everyone.
One of the things I hope for later on is they explain why main character dude is so fast and so flexible.
Maybe.
I'm sure
but
that will
also,
be explained.
I also kind of don't, because why can't he just be strong? It doesn't really matter why he can jump that fast, does it? Like, I don't think everything needs explanation unless that is part of his backstory. He just says he's very good at track. He's very good at...
Yeah, that's a fair reason. But if it is
Like-
part of the backstory, I'm definitely waiting for it.
I always feel like it's like the thing with parents, like whenever a show feels like it's running out of ideas, like, oh man, we didn't talk about their parents. Their parents got to be super important. It can't just be they have a dad and they're not there anymore. Like, no, the dad's a demon and he rules a demon place. It's like
Right.
he could just be strong.
Well, and speaking of demons, we'll get to that later on. James, your go.
Ready. So honestly, in this list, strong start for me. I went in expecting a cliche shonen because this was hyped up to me by a lot of people, and that's definitely not what I got. It there's a lot of ways the direction of it took, and the pacing I expected to be a lot slower, but it kind of just dove face first in, and
Oh yeah, the pacing's very good.
Yeah.
it's
Hello, Samuel.
fast, but it's not like too fast for everyone to keep up, and it's
Mhm.
pretty blunt and direct. I actually really dig this main character. It's kind of refreshing that
He
Like,
doesn't look like
how it-
shonen boys. He doesn't act like shonen boys. It's great.
Exactly.
yeah, his like overall resolve is pretty.
Especially in the thing with the second episode where we learn why he's doing this crazy thing, and it's not the thing that you would expect it to be.
All right. Yeah, they gave a good reason for that.
Right.
That was a good moment.
Unplugging
Yeah,
it.
also
funny moment.
You I don't know what else you want me to do.
Technical difficulties on episode 0. Da-na-na-na.
Yeah, for real though, like him and immediate like the introduction to waifu, she was such a flip-sided character. I went in expecting cliche and I got nothing but everything surrounding what should be cliche. Keeping it on a broad spectrum and even going into specifics, it was a different poke at it. What almost felt like it was gonna be a shonen.
Oh, yeah.
Mm.
Did we all watch the dub, or did some of us watch the sub? Because I just clicked on what was the first thing I saw.
I watched
I
the
watched
dub.
the dub.
I watched this.
I watched the dub and it was pretty damn good actually.
Yeah. We got fucking the guy who does Owain and so many other things.
Oh, of course.
We got him as the mentor.
Yeah, he's pretty nice.
I'm glad we aren't saying names, because I don't remember them.
Yeah.
So bad at names.
I remember
Yeah.
main character's name is Toriko because that's what I thought the anime was called while I was watching
Okay.
it. Yeah.
Toriko.
I didn't make any.
Also talk about like the opening and endings here, or is that a different part?
We can tell. Yeah, you can talk about the openings and endings. It's great.
That fucking ending is sick.
Yeah,
Yeah, it
That
is.
fucking
It's
ending
Oh,
is
dude,
sick.
it's so fucking good.
it's so stylish too with its fucking animation.
That took my number one.
God damn.
Yeah, that's probably gonna be the number one.
The opening's also really cool, but the ending is so unique.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I took a couple of notes down, and yeah, that was specifically the ending is what got that vote for me. But
Did anyone really listen to the music? I wasn't paying too much attention to any specific tracks or anything in the background.
Nothing stood
And
out.
that's always hard for me to notice unless I have like earphones
For-
on.
Yeah, it's
For
a
me,
little
for me,
watching an episode.
for me, all the background sounds, whatnot, just sound like the stereotypical shonen noises that you would get.
Yeah, the sound effects, I pointed out some that were pretty generic, so sound design is not the strongest, but like no anime is. It's hard to find one that's good.
Here's the thing: if you came up and get, hey, I got this cool new shonen anime that I think you enjoy, yeah, all right, that's a fair description. But
Yeah.
So, y'all, anything else you want to throw on at this one? Should we want to move on?
I find it very interesting the differences of the power system. So far, we've seen quite a different ability from everyone we've seen.
Yes.
From
Yes, that's true.
To the Edge Man, we haven't really
We're-
seen much of the Mentor.
We are seeing a lot of different exorcism type of deals, and the whole premise seems to be, hey, they're at this exorcism school trying to exorcise demons. The demons are the curses, whatever.
I do wonder though with what was I gonna say? Fucking how. God, I lost it. It's gone. It's gone.
They missed it, nah.
Or no, it's back. It's back. How accurate this is to different types of cleansing rituals. Like, is this actually based on something, or is this just cool to be cool?
I
do
believe
wonder
it's
about that.
I believe it's focused
'Cause the girl is pretty obvious. I've heard of
yeah,
what the girl's power is,
right.
and the headmaster's dude thing.
Mm-hmm.
Can't really say for the other ones though.
Yeah, I think the girl's been the only like solid example we've seen of like a parallel to an IRL hexing or exercising ritual.
That feels
But I
like it's
imagine
always
we'll see more going on.
depending, because we know that small spoilers. There's a school, but they're the only.
They're the only
First
first years.
And we don't know if we'll see any of the 2 years or not. We don't know
Not
how
including
far
the
it's
mentor.
going to go into that, especially with only 12 episodes.
Doesn't he have?
If it does the same thing any shonen anime does, and the characters
it
are
has
seeing
more
in the intros and outros or anything to go by, I'm kind of excited to see what we're about to see.
Yeah.
However, they could, but what I've seen could easily just turn into the bad dudes, which I'm hoping is not the case.
We'll see as it goes on.
It won't be spoiled because you could just find the intro. Because in the
we all hate
because in the intro video, and we haven't really came across yet, is there's a dude with a panda.
Oh yeah, the panda.
I
3D
really
panda running in the opening gets me every time. Like,
I really want to meet this fucking character, and I'm sure it's a second year that they keep hitting upon.
Yeah, it's been killing me. Just watching him run across the rooftops and then vault over something randomly.
Yeah, that has been the best thing in the intros and outros. Is the fucking panda.
Look forward to that in the freaking intro when you watch this at home, kids.
It's children.
If I may just, I know this isn't a specific segment to touch on, but I have a personal favorite line, and it's the main character.
Tell me it's the one I'm thinking. Actually, I wonder what it is in the sub. Alright, continue on.
Oh yeah, since you watched the sub.
So I'm the only one who watched subbed, right?
Yes.
Seems like it.
Okay, so I feel like it probably was said the same way, but when he meets one of the teachers, we'll say.
Yeah.
As he bows, one of the lines that he said is, "My preferred woman type is Jennifer Lawrence."
Yeah, he said that exactly. He said that exactly.
That fucking killed me.
Oh, dude, totally brought that. Yeah, that was fucking.
I had to look that up. Like, who the fuck is that? And then the poster in his that looks exactly like her.
Yeah, the poster he hangs up later. Yeah.
That fucking killed me so hard.
That was really fucking good. And I was trying to say one with an American actor, not some sort of Japanese actor either.
That's what she's into.
Yeah. All right.
And they ever mention anything real? Like, there's not pop culture shit. That was just the one time.
Just that, the one instance.
Yeah. So it's not like shoving it into your face like it's a gimmick. It was just like, hey, here's main character introducing himself, and he just shoves that in there. There's been no like play around like this is gonna be a gimmick of the show, and that's where it got me really hard. It was just like out of nowhere. It was just Jennifer Lawrence. I was like, oh my god. All right, I just had to bring that up.
Bring up anything you want. That's the point of the show.
Yeah.
The only thing we watched.
Yep. I was gonna say anything else anyone want to touch upon? If not, we'll move on.
I'm good.
The next up in our list is Otherside Picnic. Let me give you guys the brief description. Moments from death, main character Girl 1 is saved by love interest main character Girl 2. In the world of the other side, entranced by its beauty, she discovers that the dimension is inhibited by monsters, aka Wiggle Waggles. Once not a matcher, joining the Toriko in her search for a missing friend, they set out to explore this nightmare realm and maybe make a little money. What they encounter could bring enlightenment or drive them mad.
Are we gonna keep going the same order, or are we gonna switch it up?
Let me go in the same order.
Yeah, might as well go in the same order.
So, Michael?
So I'll go up first. This one was pretty interesting. Right off the bat, there's very little, like, exposition as to how the characters got to where they are. It's kind of clear what they're doing, though, for the most part. The show dabbles in a lot of not really, kind of, I believe, made up lore, but it's not along the lines of like regular mythology or how would I say it? Urban legends. It's more like, actually no, it is most like urban legends, like creepypasta type stuff, without being obviously the known creepypasta stuff.
It's not a lot of urban legend stuff. Lore.
Yeah. It's also very there's a lot of things going on in this one. At first I thought it was going to be like a mystery thing, but it's kind of more like a monster of the week slice of life featuring the two main characters and like building their relationship.
It's categorized as action fiction, science fiction, and Yuri.
Yeah, the two main character girls are it's pretty obvious this is like a budding romance between them. Even in the
That's-
first 3 episodes,
That's
there's definitely some feelings.
that's
going
why
on
my
there, and it's-
description was main character girl saved by love interest, main character girl too.
Yeah, it's
Going
very
on,
nice seeing what they're doing so far, even though it's definitely not explicitly romantic yet. Situations they get into are pretty creative for the most part. I do gotta say, even though a lot of them end up with them pulling out guns on the monsters, which seems funny at first, like very funny because it comes out of nowhere mostly. They never address like them just having guns.
Need guns, man. Like
At one point,
they're not swordsmen. These aren't swordsmen. These aren't samurai. These are just high school girls.
yeah, exactly.
With
Point when they
guns.
come back, at one point when they come back from the other side into the real world, they say, "Oh, hide your gun." It's just
Oh, hide your
Oh,
guns.
yeah,
Don't want to
that
get in
was-
trouble.
Yeah, at the end of the third episode. I think that was the third episode.
yeah.
It's just like, oh yeah, oh we should probably put this away.
Just put it in your backpack. It's all right. Yeah, the two main characters have some good chemistry with each other. One being more of a go-getter, wants to get stuff done. The other one's pretty reclusive, and in the first, I think it was the second episode, saying how much she just wants to have the other side be her alone space and didn't want to get wrapped up in this. So I think it'll be fun exploring how that feeling evolves into the eventual romance for the other girl. And yeah, it's cute. And also, the horror elements are pretty cool.
Pretty creative.
Yeah, that's about my synopsis.
I was the one who recommended this because of nothing but just by the image of the two girls having guns. That was funny enough for me. I said, fuck it. I don't know what genre this is. Let's go into it.
You're
Very
about,
fair.
real quick, you're all about to watch me looking at my screen, but we'll continue talking. That is
Alright.
something better. We keep going.
All right.
But, that. I find this very interesting because comparatively, this
Oh,
has
next one. Sorry.
very little idea of what is going on. They're very much keeping details away from you. There's some that are known by the characters, a lot that are not. Which I find very interesting, as in the second episode, we learn one thing I really liked. In the second episode, there was a mechanic, I'll say. A mechanic.
Oh, yes. Another character, yeah.
that was brought up by another character that they then had to learn how to deal with that in the third episode. It wasn't just forgotten, like, oh, that's a cute quirk of the world. Anyway, no, they had to, like a survival game, figure out how to deal with this until it became just a natural part of the process. As it feels like this show has a lot more exploration, since it is about a different world than our own.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's quite the mystery going on.
One thing I really liked, and I don't know if they did this or if I'm crazy, but I felt like after the opening, after the episode, each time, there was something new in the opening that I noticed because
There-
it happened in the last one. I swear I'm not crazy.
You-
Where
That's the thing I
in the
haven't
opening,
noticed. You're right.
something happened to one of their eyes, then the eyes changed, then something happened to the hand, the hand's different. Then
I think
something happens with a gate, then the gate's in the opening.
don't think that's true because I remember the first time because three of us watched the first episode together, and I remember the a change that happened to the character's eyes happening in that opening.
I swear, like the other things, maybe not the eye, but I swear other things that
I wouldn't doubt if they
part
actually
of
did
the
that. It's very
opening
in line
got
with how
added
Okay.
into the opening.
yeah, it's very in line with how the anime is with its supernatural occurrences things. I wouldn't doubt it.
And lesbians. Thank you.
Well said. So Jacob, your thoughts?
So I
read it
thought,
now,
so overall, I thought it was good anime. I like the more caught on, the better the anime got, which is I'm kind of glad we gave it the 3 episode rule. Because to me, the first episode just felt slow as fuck. Like, hey, or not slow as fuck, but so like slow and weird. It's like, hey, here's main character girl laying in a field. Hey, here's other love interest main character girl. They know each other somehow. Who the fuck knows?
Yeah.
Oh,
Like I said
hey,
before,
here's a
very
wiggle
little
waggle.
exposition.
How the wiggle waggle got there? Who the fuck knows? Killed it. They decide, hey, let's go to where the wiggle waggles live. For why? Who the fuck knows?
True, but I think that's one of the things where we weren't explained it till later, where we learned why at least one of them keeps going to this dangerous place.
Yeah, I know we learned
I
about.
also don't think it's going to matter in the grand scheme of things. I believe the story is more about the characters' relationship and just solving the mystery of the place rather than...
Yeah, and they're building it up and whatnot. But like, I like a more clear reason why the fuck do they keep putting their lives in danger.
Right. You'd rather have it be a more clear exposition.
Yeah.
True.
I get that.
We did get one, at least for one of the main characters.
Yeah, it's true.
I personally didn't feel hooked onto the show until episode 3. Like I said, I was kind of like mad with episode 1. It was not bad, but it wasn't good. It wasn't bad, but I wouldn't say it was great. Episode 2, it started getting better. Episode 3, like I probably end up watching the show going to finish it off. Even if we just voted off, I'll probably wait till it comes out in dub. But as I
Still
said,
getting hooked on it on the second episode.
yeah. Other than that, yeah, that's basically it for me. The intro, I thought the intro song was good. The outro song was fine.
Oh, and the after credits shorts
Yes.
that we need to mention. Those are really fun.
Oh,
I like
those
how
are fun.
look.
Yeah, those are cool as shit.
I like whenever shows do that, because
Yes.
if
Agreed.
it came out here in America, if it came out on TV, they would cut those.
Yeah, no, they definitely wouldn't be there.
There was so many Pokemon episodes where they had stuff like that, but those got cut out because we gotta put that minute of ad time.
Mhm.
I need that.
Even on Toonami, where they
You
try
want
to
to
have
see the credits of your movie? No. Put it in the corner and let's put an ad.
But like,
ads.
if you're gonna make a fucking a bad guy or a monster in your fucking show, don't call it goddamn wiggle waggles.
I think they called it that because it's based on an actual thing called that. Like, I don't think they were like, yes, Wiggle Waggle, that's what we'll name it.
I also think it's like in more
actually
line with that.
baked on a yokai, like the second enemy.
Is it actually based on something specific?
I don't know about the Wiggle Waggle, but the second one, anyone
Oh yes, yeah, you're right.
who that's based off of.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I also thought the Wiggle Waggle
Anyone
thing
who's
was
been
just
on
like,
the internet.
I thought the Wiggle Waggle thing was just in line with the more urban legend aesthetic of the monsters.
I feel like that's something where Japan will get that more than any of us, since we don't
Yeah.
have yokai.
Maybe I gotta hear the
We'd have to
Japanese.
look
Maybe,
it up.
well, we already heard the Japanese version. Never mind.
I meant like we don't live in Japan, so we don't
Like the
know
yeah,
readily available these yokais and these folk tales.
Yeah.
exactly.
James.
All right. So, being real, yeah, I level with Jacob in the specific regard that that first episode was kind of slow, and it didn't necessarily reel me in within that first one, but by getting into the third one where they're starting to expand slowly but surely, I realized that it's kind of the premise that they're going for is they're giving you the minimum information to kind of keep you interested enough to keep going, and I do like that, because I've had a lot of mixed pacings of shows in time, and some of them just cram it in your face, but this one's kind of like taking its time with you, and you gotta follow along in the slower regards, rather than just know the premise and expect what's gonna happen next, kind of thing. I think that's actually what makes me want to continue to watch more of it, is just the fact that it's taking its time more than most of the shows that I've watched in the past. Specifics with the character, I feel a little bit of cliche from the reclusive style, but I'm not completely out of their character for that reason.
I feel like
It's
they don't.
just-
I feel like they don't bring it up too often for it to be very cliched. I only recall her saying that like
It was.
Or
It
mentioned
felt
being
more
reclusive, like,
important
once or twice.
as part of the second episode because it dealt
Yeah.
with the plot of the enemy. But that was
Right.
her struggle, which I think some of us can get, but I can see where you're coming from.
Yeah, it's keep in mind I'm not saying I hate her and that it's the most cliche thing ever. I've just seen a lot of shows with that as a main character. You could call it a flaw if you want, but
Yeah.
Right.
I'm just with being so used to that, that's where it feels like I need to call it a cliche, but I'm not out with her. I feel she could it could turn
Yes.
into something great.
She has room
With-
to grow.
Right. So honestly, overall, really liked it, and yeah, it captured me by the mid to end of the third episode, and it's definitely one I'm gonna finish because it has me curious enough to see where it goes from
Oh, yeah.
here.
It's a good mystery.
I liked the art style of in terms of side stuff. Trying not to get into too detail specific of plot. In terms of side stuff, I really liked the ending scenes, like within of the show. I just like the art style with that, but that was just a personal thing that I thought was pretty fun to watch through, and I watched through all three of them.
Yeah.
Just to aside that,
I think
really have much.
besides, yeah, continue.
What are you gonna say, Nick?
I think besides another one on this list, this show uses the most 3D.
Oh yes, it uses the 3D models for the characters when they're far off in the distance, which I believe they do that to avoid the because obviously it's hand drawn. Avoid using the lower textured hand drawn frames while they're off in the distance, like a lot of cartoons do.
I'm fine with that, but as we saw with another person we watched, it is noticeable.
Yeah, it is noticeable, but it shouldn't be too much of an issue.
One other show we'll get to does that, but I think that understands for what happens in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Honestly, yeah. If that's worth, I don't really have much more on that, but yeah, it was. I've seen that used a lot more recently in animes, and
I've noticed
I don't really have
all
anything.
these shows
I don't have any
used it.
personal gripe against it.
maybe Jujutsu Kaisen didn't, but I feel like everyone we watched at least used it a little bit.
Yeah, I think it's a fine workaround. It's not too distracting most of the time.
I quickly changed up my screen settings. So if you're watching, tell me how this looks. I think this looks better than what the game is going. Because the game is kind of like, it's there.
The game, the quotation
Okay.
marks.
I will request at some point that I get a potty break.
Yep, we'll do breaks.
I need to flip a load of laundry anyway.
Yeah. Actually, I need to do both of those things. But
Yep, so let's give our overall thoughts on this, and then we can take a small break before we hit our third show.
That was good.
I liked it.
I'm excited to
I
see where it
think
goes.
The intrigue is the main thing going through.
Yes.
yeah, that's a strong point.
Mm-hmm.
Guns are funny.
Yes.
Guns are funny.
Now that they've gotten to the point where third episode's finally hooked and they finally start to get some momentum behind them, I hope they carry on with this momentum and it just doesn't drop.
Regardless, I'm more excited to see the how the relationship between the two main characters flourishes. I think it's gonna be very nice.
Oh, hey, Digital, how's it going? Thank you. I thought this looked
Thank
better.
you.
Also, Digital, if you look below my stream, I got a new extension. You can make your own fighter and whatnot and fight people and challenge with other viewers.
You fight people in the streams? Is that legal? What?
No, on my stream, I added in an extension where you can where you build your own fighter and fight other viewers.
The hell?
Yeah,
No,
it's kind of
what?
cool as fuck.
Games are getting too advanced.
Oh
Giving
yeah.
people OCs here.
Yes,
with
Actually-
Twitch OCs.
you get more shit, the more people you fight. There's a reason to interact on my stream. I'm giving people a reason to be here. Damn it.
I like
They made
it.
an incentive.
I like They can have the top 10 anime battles.
Yeah.
I think how the girls got their power or their abilities slightly interesting though. I don't think we haven't hit upon that of how shy main character girl 1. I'm gonna stare at this monster and that's gonna stop it from attacking.
I think that might be part of the. It might be part of the tale. Again, I don't know if that's true or not. Like part of the urban legend.
Mm-hmm.
I do like though that they both have a power that interacts with the world differently, and they need each other.
Yeah, they need each other to make it to get through facing these monsters.
Mm-hmm. And I like after they got their powers, they're fucking like the fucking love interest main character girl 2 goes, "Hey, look at your eye!" And like going on about the eye and eye, but fucking fails to mention her goddamn hand.
Yeah. She just didn't notice it because she was too excited.
Like 2 different colored eyes. I got that. Whatever. A hand?
Yeah, you're an anime character.
Yeah.
But a hand being transparent as fuck, you don't see that.
Yeah, he did it. She did it. That's why she didn't worry about it. She didn't see her hand.
Anything else on the show?
No.
What'd you guys?
That's it for me.
What'd you guys think of the music, the intro and outro music?
I liked it. It's not the type of music I usually listen to, but I enjoyed it.
I didn't like as much as Jujutsu Kaisen, but
yeah, but that ending theme, I don't know if we're gonna top. That's a great ending. Just
this Otherside Picnic's ending theme was my favorite until I watched Jujutsu Kaisen. So
I do really
like
that
going for it.
And I think I swear I'm not crazy. I think the intro is changing things every time they do something. I swear.
It could be. I didn't pay attention too much to the intro after the first 2.
If not, I'm slowly noticing things that are happening in the show, which also feels good.
Yeah,
I'm like, oh yeah, that happened with that, and that happened with
Yeah.
If no one got anything else put on, we're going to take a slight potty break, slight break. I'll also be around answering any chat. You got any questions about the first few shows we hit upon?
Alright.
The show's
break time.
The show's being Otherside Picnic.
Break.
We'll be back after these messages.
And Juju guys.
We'll be back after these messages.
Oh no, spoilers. Come back.
Little laundry.
Little laundry. So how goes the day, Digital? How did your therapy go? Holy shit, still not doing what I wanted to do. Bro. This is the reason I said this is the pilot. But you guys could be right back screen me as well. But I'll still be chatting. So what's your thoughts so far, Nick?
I told you my thoughts. That's what we're doing.
Yeah.
That's the show.
Yeah.
You think I've just been lying? I've just been really good at making shit up?
Yeah. Tell us how you really feel about the show.
I didn't watch any of them. I'm just making shit up.
Yeah, I just looked
Okay.
up. I just looked like the wiki in Reddit.
Oh. I don't watch anime. Anime is for losers who don't get a date on prom night.
That hurts.
Got my channel. I can beat people up.
You can. Are you my stream right now?
I need to grab my phone and do it because I always feel like I'm lagging behind on the thing. I try to talk and do that.
This might be right back screen because people had to take a tinkle to the bathroom break.
Yeah. There's like
So
anime have that where it's like they have a set slide screen for what.
if you're telling me you wouldn't watch a goddamn anime that stars Shaquille O'Neal, you're lying to me.
Yeah, man. And they show like the characters doing something wacky. One of the shows we watched did do that.
Okay, I'm back.
Oh, where's Megan James?
Find a nice background for the next one. That's Yashahime, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll go with this one then.
Right?
This
So-
one where you guys are gonna have a lot more to say than I will.
Yeah.
I'm very
Oh,
interested in
fuck,
going
yeah.
from you to James because I
Yeah.
feel like
Oh, me and James are about to bounce off each other.
Yeah.
Digital, you're still around, bro. How did therapy go?
Wait, who do I bounce off of?
don't worry, you're about to bounce off people.
How do I fight people? I'll tell you, Nick.
How do I fight
Once I go back to the other screen, if you go to the bottom, like if you scroll down on my stream a little bit, there's a little bar of your fighter. You can choose to join a random fight or challenge someone in my stream. And we're back with
You are-
Gateway.
Grant permission.
Wait, who do I bounce off of?
I'm a redhead guy with a sword.
How did therapy go today? Digital. Alrighty.
Everyone good.
So
everyone
we're all
cool,
good. We're gonna move on to our
close.
next show. Well, I didn't do too much since it was my last session. Yeah, but like, didn't know how much I'll have you do or whatnot. So, we're moving on to the next show, which I wouldn't necessarily put it as my favorite, but I'm most excited to talk about it. And that is Yashahime, Princess Half Demon.
A little spin-off of a show you may or may not have heard of. You know, it's a little one that aired on Adult
Pretty
Swim late at
indie
night on
gem.
Saturdays.
Pretty indie gem, you know. No one really knew about it until
It's a dang spin-off of Inuyasha.
Yeah.
It follows the children of Inuyasha and Sesshomaru. Long lost.
Read the description.
The description. Long lost twins, main character girl 1 and main character girl 2, reunite after 10 years to discover that they are half-demon daughters of the great demon Sesshomaru. Joined by best friend main character girl 3, the daughter of Inuyasha, the three set out on a
Girl
journey
3.
to regain their missing past.
Cool.
Sit.
Guys are starting off with my thoughts, which is the best part to start off with.
Yeah, go ahead,
that's
Mikey.
great.
As someone
As
who
the-
didn't really see an Inuyasha.
Yes, as the one most unfamiliar with Inuyasha, I knew about it. I watched the first 2 episodes recently. That's it.
Oh yeah, I was there with you when we watched
Yes,
this.
exactly. So going into this, I will say the first episode does a very good job at introducing the viewer to the past Inuyasha characters of the first, obviously the Inuyasha, rather than this anime. as it acts as basically just an episode of Inuyasha. But like I said, it acts as a good introduction to the characters if you don't know them already. Going from there, though, the premise of it is very, very interesting one.
Mm-hmm.
It derives from Inuyasha, obviously, of one person being transported to the other world or back in time or whatever it is. Don't completely know. But instead of a modern day character going to Inuyasha land, we get someone from that era, actually a few characters from that era, going to the modern era. Which is very cool. The character dynamic itself between the three main character girls, pretty interesting. I do like how they bounce off each other pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
They got some nice defined personalities. The action, I believe, is pretty cool from what I remember. There wasn't a whole lot of it.
Sounds like
Yeah,
an
it was
interesting
decent.
place. Doesn't it, dude?
Very much does. Other than that, it really feels like the old corny shonen anime that Inuyasha was back then. Like, it embodies the whole spirit of it and how people fought. It's Inuyasha back...
Yeah.
Back when Inuyasha aired on Adult Swim, frickin' 2003 or 2002, whenever it started, they basically made a whole... cultivated a new generation of Western anime fans, I believe, that watched it at the time. Separate from ones like the one that Dragon Ball created or Sailor Moon.
Yep. See you around,
I
Digital.
believe-
Thank you for coming by. Oh, appreciate you, homie.
And I believe this anime captures a lot of that same spirit that the first one resonated. Which, like I said, is like a corny shonen. Which isn't bad, but... Yeah,
Not to interrupt,
Yeah, go ahead.
I very much agree. I just, whether it be a longtime fan or not, I think they really pulled an old style out of the hat that, it's been a long time since we've seen like a refresher on that end of it, but I'll widen more on that when it's my turn.
Oh yeah,
I will as well. I'm so excited to
That's
talk about this one.
that's definitely... For me personally, it probably is the weakest out of the anime chosen for me personally, just because all of what it does, I believe some of the anime do better. But it's not to say it's bad by any means. It's just
only sequel we have currently in this lineup.
Yes, it is. No, it's not really that derivative either. Like I said, the first episode did a very good job at catching up on all the important details. So that's definitely not the issue I'm having. It's just the tone of it is like something I feel all the other anime we got done do better. So yeah, this might be the weakest one for me personally. But we'll see that opinion quickly change when I go down the line of other people talking about this.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll
Alright.
toss it over to...
As-
So that's the other person hasn't seen Inuyasha.
I've seen
You've seen
some
more.
of Inuyasha.
You've
All
seen
right.
much more than I
All
have.
right. I stood up on the days of Adult Swim and watched the Inuyasha when I was a child who didn't fully understand what was going on or was too tired to fully keep up. And I only recently learned of how long it is. I thought it was long, and then I found out it was almost 200 episodes long.
Yep.
It's a shonen, dog. Shonens are never short.
I find this interesting in that the premise, it's definitely not where you would have thought, like, it's interesting because most sequel shows either try and keep going with the characters or they introduce a new generation. And that usually brings ups or downs depending on how well the new generation is comparatively to the old generation. But interesting that this seems to be a much smaller cast than Inuyasha, with 3 main characters and seemingly some side characters, and some returning ones, fan favorites. For the first episode, really defines on how I think this is a sequel and what people will enjoy about it, even though you say spin-off, because
Right.
they show off all the characters and seeing them once again, seeing how they've changed from the ending, which again I don't know much about, but seeing that must have been pretty cool. But for anyone who has not watched that first episode doesn't explain shit. That doesn't explain a goddamn thing about the world, about old Edo, about how there's a connection between the past and the present.
Yeah, that's true.
Yes, most people have heard of Inuyasha. That is correct. So that's a safe bank to not have to explain that. But for the people who didn't get into Inuyasha, or the people who didn't even like Inuyasha, or never heard of it, because, I don't know, just weren't around at the time. Maybe they were too young. They don't know who any of these people are. They don't know what the Shikan Jewel is. They don't know why demons are here.
Yes.
They don't know why that guy fell to the ground when she says, "Sit, boy."
That's
They don't know why, like, why aren't you mad at me? Why would she be mad at you? Where did that come from? I
that
miss
kinda
my
stuff
wind.
kinda-
I miss my wind tunnel. What the fuck is a wind tunnel? Why
Yeah,
are you
that
looking
kinda-
at your hand?
that kind of stuff ties into my thoughts of it being like having the same atmosphere as like the corny anime that Inuyasha had, because like in the Western sense, outsiders who don't know about Inuyasha watching it will be confused no matter what they're doing, because they're talking about all this stuff that only makes sense if it's been explained. And I love that, like that aesthetic, that feeling,
I do enjoy that.
because I think it's funny.
But I do think of the person who this isn't made for. Because it feels
Yeah.
like this very much is made for the Inuyasha audience. Because even though I haven't seen Inuyasha forever, the moment that title card clicked, I'm like, I remember this
Yes.
music. Oh my god.
Yeah, the title card music exactly the same. I like that. That's what I remember most from Inuyasha.
I really enjoy the characters and the color coding. And we got fucking goddamn Ryoko, main character tomboy once again. I watched the dub for this one.
The dub also adds on to the corniness, like
Yes.
tenfold.
That good corniness that I enjoy.
I originally watched Inuyasha with dub, so this is one I also watched with dub.
Yeah, I'm also glad the most of the actors reprised their roles. Like hearing Inuyasha, it's still
See, that I wasn't sure. Like that legitimately, I knew Inuyasha sounded the same, but I also couldn't say for the rest of them. It'd been that long.
Yeah,
that,
I'm
like,
not sure
Is
for the
that
other ones,
their
but-
voice?
Kagome is a different one,
That's
Oh,
what
okay.
I thought.
if that helps to know it all.
I could definitely tell Inuyasha was the same though.
He. I was excited for that much, but all right, I will hush. Sorry.
The one thing I wish that first episode introduced was the world. Like at least explaining this is ancient Japan, and through this tree, there's some connection that leads it to the modern day Japan. I just wish that was a bit more explained.
Mhm.
My one gripe. But later I enjoyed the fight scenes. I do enjoy how they still do the thing where they come down with a slash and then like it blocks it, and then they can just jump away from that.
Yeah,
Just jump away from that all the time. I do think one fight, it seemed weird how it ended, but it was also funny to me, so I liked it. I feel like just because this has the Inuyasha nostalgia, I remember the sound effects more of this show than any of the other shows. I will say that.
I recognize a few as well.
I have other things, but those are general opening and ending things which we can talk about. So go on, Inuyasha fans.
You'll definitely
fun.
enjoy it.
All right, dude. I had so much fun with this goddamn show. I love the first episode. I think it did a really good job recapping what went on when you watch it without really spoiling the show. Because they could have just done one whole recap where it went through the whole fucking Inuyasha, showed everything that happened, and then you don't have to watch Inuyasha anymore. I like how they did it where, hey, this is after the show, after the events of the show, they're going to talk about what happened in their show, but they're not going to show it, so it gives you a reason to, hey, I want to know what the wind tunnel is. I'm going to watch Inuyasha. Hey, I want to know why she says this way and why that works. I'm going to go watch Inuyasha. I feel like the first episode gives you a reason to go watch the original show.
See that?
Episode 2 and 3, when they actually start, when I feel the show actually starts, I think they did a good show. When you brought up that they didn't bring up the tree and really didn't touch upon that, I think they did a good job with it, because when they met the old lady, when they came across the old lady, I can't think of her fucking name, she brought up the
Lady,
tree.
that's what we call it.
Yeah, lady. They brought up how Kagome used the well to travel back and forth between the worlds, the well got destroyed, and the tree grew in its place. And they explained how Brute Demon scurried into the tree and was taking over his powers, and which how they travel back and forth. I think I was kind of thrown off guard to see that Shishomaru's daughters are going to be the main characters. I thought for sure would have been Inuyasha's kid. I'm kind of glad it's not following directly following the main character's child.
She's still a part of it, though.
She's still a part of it. I'm sure she's going to become a big part later on down the
Playing
road.
it as like a secret.
But I'm glad.
Fully set it
I'm
out, right?
I'm glad.
It took them the third episode to talk about Shishomaru, which
To
I
allude to it.
do like, because again, if you hadn't watched it or don't really know who Shishomaru is, you don't have to worry about it.
Well, no, because I think the show wants you to believe you are watching Inuyasha's daughters. Because how Inuyasha is Shishomaru was a bad guy for a long fucking time, and they hit upon that in the first episode. He was a bad fucking dude until the end where he turned. So I think they did a good job with how they'll make you believe they're Inuyasha's daughter when you find out that they're actually Shishomaru's kids. I sat there as a fan like, oh crap.
Did the description ever say that? Because I swore I knew that before, like anything. I swore they advertised that immediately that these were the daughters.
I'm sure at some point.
One of the gripes
I was not surprised.
One of the gripes I do have is Inuyasha's kid, the main character, best friend, main character girl. How she doesn't know who her parents are. I'm sure they're going to go over that, and it's probably some sort of concussion where how they went over in the show. It's probably the fucking butterfly. Remember butterfly, butterfly?
Butterfly.
Oh, right.
I do think that along with the... Actually, I should wait till you're done, sorry.
Very cool. Continue.
It felt like the goal... Like this... I feel like there was a weird priority list from the ending of episode 2 and 3, where it felt like there was very much this thing we should deal with. Oh no, your memories, the butterfly! Like, I feel like there was a step we missed in becoming more friends. I don't know. I felt awkward about that.
It did feel a little awkward, but in reality, you come to the future, this girl somehow knows who you are. Best friend, main character girl somehow trusts her. Who else are you going to stay with? You know where else to go.
They prioritize it very quickly, though.
Yeah, they do prioritize really quickly. They probably, and I hope they show more of that rivalry and doesn't just start off with them being best friends.
I don't believe it will.
I don't believe it will either. But
There's quite the disdain between those two characters.
Mm-hmm.
Well, coming from one of them towards the other. But yeah.
The demon, I thought was really cool, because if I remember correctly, James, correct me if I'm wrong, wasn't there a centipede demon in the original Inuyasha? Almost like the same type of fucking demon? Yeah.
Yes, that was in the first few episodes.
Yeah. So them fighting the centipede demon, which was in the first Inuyasha, I thought that was a real cool fucking flashback. Like a real cool fucking, like, hey, they're bringing back these old enemies to see how these new characters deal with it.
And like with those new enemies, like understanding the change in the world and the things. Yeah, I thought that was kind of dope to see the same exact thing. And Mike, yeah, I'm glad you at least got to see that much to like.
Yeah, exactly.
Get to see that tiny portion that they just try to do a throwback to.
One of the things I hope they hit upon on going later on is the rainbow jewels they got.
Yes, the Infinity
Stones. The Infinity Stones. Because, like, the original Inuyasha, they destroyed the Shikan jewel, which was the end-all be-all. So what the fuck are these new jewels?
Big mystery.
Yeah.
Like the Super Emerald's case.
It feels like the third girl knows a lot more what's going on. Like, I feel like she was the one always saying exposition comparatively to the other two.
And one other problem I fucking have, how the hell don't they know that that's fucking Inuyasha's kid? I really hope they hit upon that at some point. Because I feel like you should know.
Seems to know each other.
Because the first episode, it showed all of them together, they're all living in the same village, whatnot. Next episode, hey,
here's best for me character who looks like fucking Inuyasha's kid. Like she acts exactly like Inuyasha.
Mhm.
Here's someone who traveled with them all the fucking time. Shown in the first fucking episode, but somehow doesn't know that that's their fucking kid.
Maybe Inuyasha doesn't even know that's his kid.
I had a huge problem with it, and I hope they go back to it. My whole theory is that I feel like that monarch butterfly that we learned about is going to become bigger part of the plot than we thought, or that owl we've seen in the first episode is actually a main part.
Oh, yeah, the owl guy
Mhm.
died.
So I still have questions I want answered, but as an Inuyasha fan, I really do think this is a great continuation of the first show. James, I'll pass it off to you.
The other Inuyasha fan.
Okay. So,
Lord Shishomaru himself.
Lord,
No, it's
It's
a
Shomaru. Being real, I looked when I watched this, and keep in mind, I slightly cheated because I watched this a little bit before we chose this.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
I also slightly cheated and I watched the next 2 episodes.
What the fuck?
It's
Uh,
good.
Show's over.
It's
I'm
good, homie.
leaving the band.
Hey, I didn't spoil anything, okay?
I'm leaving the band.
Yeah. I'm gonna keep this to just the first 3
Three.
episodes as best as I can. But overall, looking at it, I watched up to where I had gotten, and then I realized after I had been so excited to see all of this that I was enveloped by being a part of the target audience.
Mhm.
And I genuinely feel like there was no attempts at targeting any new audience, and I feel like, and don't get me wrong, I it's hard to expand on this more, but I feel like it's like you and Mikey, you and Nick were talking about, where like it tried its best to recap the things that it could, but it couldn't bring you back to know everything that there was to know about the previous series, enough so that continuing was a drive. And I'm not speaking for you guys individually, but as an experienced Inuyasha fan, I felt like all the points they were digging at so far in the show were all targeted towards original fans who they couldn't guarantee would go back to watch this. So it makes it hard for newcomers to come into this and get to understand all of these other things that old-time fans are talking about. And in that regard, I keep in mind, I loved the shit out of this, but for what was done there, I really honestly felt like they didn't care if any new people got into it because they knew the old people would be enveloped enough to be like, what's
Especially
going on?
For the preview of the next episode, if they don't explain who the fuck that is, no one's gonna get that. Because I don't know who the fuck that. I barely know who that is because it felt like that person was always a mystery in the original show.
I don't even remember the preview.
And involves the sacred arrow wielder.
No.
Yeah, I pretty lost on that.
I can't even like say her name without being spoilers.
Yeah.
She's so important. But she isn't important to any of them. So I want to know how the fuck that's gonna work.
Yeah, like, yeah, I get that side of it. Like, it's hard to, yeah, it's really hard to keep spoilers out of it. But point being is, I love the shit out of this. There was a lot of callbacks that were just phenomenal for ones who watched this show. But in terms of new people, this helps that we have a very divided, like a very directly divided group in the 4 of us that are talking. because I can see a little bit of what you guys are talking about in my side of it, which is in Jacob's side of it, which is seeing the nostalgia effects that they were going for. Is they didn't expand enough for many of people just jumping into this series to care about continuing on, whereas to the target audience being people like me and Jacob watching the original series is, oh wait, here's three main characters that are the spawn of the main character and his brother's two daughters, and moving forward we are going to continue to follow them. And wait, but where's the main character and of the original series, and where is Kagome, and where is
Kagome?
And where's Sashomaru and all of them? What? Where? I love that I have Master Zaken as my picture right now.
Yeah, it's perfect. I was looking forward to that.
Very perfect.
Like, there's not as much for you guys as people who are very new to the series. There's not enough left to newcomers to desire more than there is in the eyes of the people who are familiar with the show to want, which is just answers. It's literally just answers as to where those people are now. And though I love the shit out of what's going on so far, I feel like they could at the very least have done a better job of bringing in a new audience. Like, on the expansive knowledge that Inuyasha had and all the fillers that the original series had.
Is
I
this
feel
made by the original creator, or is this made by someone else making?
I do not know.
that specific detail. I actually do not know either.
I would imagine it's by the same manga creator.
The Wikipedia says it's still by Rumiko Takahashi.
Yeah, I believe that's the original creator then.
Yeah.
Which, in
Name
that
sounds
case, I
familiar.
know she's doing. I don't know how the manga is, but I know she is doing work. Like, just
Yeah.
hearing her work shows she's not, like, half-assing this, even with all the stuff we said with trying to get people into this. I know she ain't half-assing anything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think necessarily that she half-assed this. I just I don't know. I kind of wanted to see a more of a mix rather than target the old folks to get them in here. But I still love and respect what it's going for, and I do look forward to seeing more about the power thing they were going for. Because like when I started with the Rainbow Pearl things, I didn't need more episodes than those 3 to really just get this vibe in the back of my head. Like, wait, all right, what is this Sailor Moon-esque bullshit? Like,
But I Sailor.
wait, what?
But I like Sailor.
And you're welcome to that. And I don't think Sailor Moon's bad, but I just a little part of me felt that was shoehorned a little bit. Even with my fun with what I've had from the shows, because the character's very different than what we've seen in the original shows.
These aren't your typical girls. They punch and swear.
Oh yes, they definitely.
And
swear.
wear boys' clothing.
Yeah.
The whole cast is tomboys, and it's actually kind of cool.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, it's good.
Main character cast, I should say.
Yeah, the whole main character cast is like, it's refreshing to see them in that regard. Versus, I don't know, they got rid of the schoolgirl trope and brought in some refreshing characters for that.
I mean,
and-
technically, she's a schoolgirl, but she's the tomboy schoolgirl that gets into a lot of fights, aka Ryuko.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
She's not as abrasive as Ryoko, though.
Yeah, she's much nicer.
She just fights people who pick on her.
Exactly.
Honestly, I don't have too much more to expand on that. If we're talking openings, I wasn't personally blown away by either of them, but it's not like they were bad. There's a lot of
Very interesting opening theme. It doesn't exactly like. I wish I knew how to talk about music. But I was like, how does the very vocal part? But the
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of English in this opening.
yeah. And this show also has like the title cards, like the old anime, so that's pretty cool. But
Yes.
also keeps playing that part of it, so that part of the song is just in my mind now, not even like the rest of it,
All right.
because it doesn't really fit the theme or the energy of the shortcuts, which is them just doing a silly thing. It's like they're doing something like
Yeah.
and you hear that right before every ad, or would be an ad. I kind of like the ending theme. It's nice.
It's fine. What I hope going forward is that it does give you guys some sort of reason to, if we choose to continue with this show, I hope it gives you some sort of reason to continue watching it, and produces something for new fans to latch on to.
Yes.
I'm
'Cause
proud.
right now
Maybe
the
that's
main
what they're
thing
trying-
is the trio's like chemistry. I think that's
Yeah,
the
they've
main
definitely
thing.
got-
that's
They've got
keeping
some
it
interesting
together.
things going on with the three main characters.
How? Okay, I just gotta say one thing. How is that old woman still alive? How is she still alive?
Lady K. That blew
She
my
has to
mind.
be over 100 in the feudal era of Japan. How is she not
She's
dead?
magic. That's how.
Yeah, don't worry
Well,
about it, dude.
This is like Tsunade still being young and
Yeah,
fine.
don't worry about
She
it. It's
looks-
anime logic.
She looks the same too.
She kind of looks younger because of the art style.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Speak-
yeah. When they
Speaking
renewed
of,
it, yeah.
speaking of, sorry, go ahead.
No, go on.
Okay, speaking of looking younger, a minor nitpick I have is that when the main white-haired main character girl gets transported into the future, a random guy comes by her
See,
and
that's
offers, like,
that right
offers
there.
hospitality.
That's
and
that's
then
that's your lack of knowledge. That's Kagome's brother.
oh really?
Oh,
Right.
yeah.
I
That
remember
is-
that now. I remember that now.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
super. See, that's why he's like, I know what's happening. I'm chill
Right.
with that.
Okay,
But, see,
then
you didn't know exactly. That would seem weird to anyone
Yes.
who didn't know.
that wasn't the weird part. When it comes to it, it said later it didn't like flash forward. Said that he later adopted her, and it's like 10 years in the future, I believe. And
I
the
don't
guy
think-
looks exactly the same.
Yeah, yeah.
he doesn't look like he aged at all, and that was really weird to me.
Yeah.
And he still looks like he looked like he was in his like just out of high school 20s at the time. Flash forward however many years, he looks exactly the same. And he
In-
has a teenage daughter.
In the
Very
old
weird.
show, was there a big heartfelt moment when OG main girl Kagome chose to stay where she chose to stay?
Mhm.
Was there like a moment where she went to the family? Because I was thinking, like, were they okay with that?
I don't know.
Okay with this?
So the thing, so
Abandon your family.
So real quick to hit back upon what Mikey brought up. Yeah, they did a bad job really explaining who that brother was at first. I think the episode when the girls come into the house though, they have a scene where he sees Kagome's daughter, and he straight up looks at her and goes, "Yep, that's Kagome's kid."
Yeah, I just remember that.
And so that with that being that, I think that was enough for me to go, "Oh, he knows who Kagome is. It's her brother."
I didn't come to the conclusion he was a brother. I didn't think about it too hard, I guess.
Yeah, I
But
just
again-
knew that was the family. Was the younger brother, the mom, grandpa. I remember those
Mhm.
guys.
But no, there's definitely things that they should have like made more clear. Because like what they could have done with the dude, the brother, is when main character girl 1 goes inside the house, there could have been a picture of him as a young boy with Kagome and everybody. To kind of be like, okay, that's super. I can relate this to the family. It belongs to the family.
Probably would have been a small detail though, like a blink and you miss it moment.
Yeah.
It still would have been something.
Yeah, at least like not give it too much camera time, but like have the at least camera flash on for like a second, so you're like, okay, they wanted me to see this picture for a reason.
Also, because time travel, it's interesting on how we've been transported to the part where enough time has passed in both worlds, where in fact the brother was grown up and she didn't come back when. Is it time travel or is it just world hop?
Time
'Cause
travel.
It is, yeah, it's time
Yeah,
travel.
that's what I
But-
gathered.
There's like, it feels like there's only a set point in which like it can only come to the present. Like it can't go in the past and the present. Like you can't have, unless that's the plot point, which oh god if it does. If Yashahime comes in and sees Kagome, it's like young
They-
Kagome.
They explain that the first episode they explained how Kagome used the well to travel back and forth and how it got destroyed.
Yeah,
They
no, I know
didn't
that
they
it was
didn't
bad.
they didn't really do a good job the first 3 episodes explaining how main character girl got to the present. But they easily make it assumable that she just can't get back.
True. But we also like don't know the full mechanics of the new thing, especially now that it's technically taken over.
I think it opens up another question of how did they get here? Why did this work? Which they're more likely they'll show when they go back in time.
Yeah. That's definitely an intriguing point.
Mm-hmm.
If we don't get adult Shippo, I'm gonna riot. I'm gonna fucking
So
riot.
I think this will be the one show I'll try to defend for another 3, and if you guys did not like after another 3, I'll fucking understand. However,
However, we got another one to watch. That's
yes,
number 4.
another fucking episode or show. This one. Well, I'll get my thoughts on it later. I definitely have
Super Cub?
I definitely have the unpopular opinion of this one. Is Super Cub.
I just before we read the thing, I thought this said Super Club.
Yeah,
Did
everyone
not read the thing like I didn't read any of. So it was definitely for a surprise when I woke up in the morning and watched this,
All right.
thinking that this was gonna be like a club, high school type thing.
There's freedom in loneliness, and main CG finds and main character girl finds hers on a motorcycle, a Honda Super Cub motorcycle to be exact, with no parents, friends, or plans for the future. Main character girl's daily detours on her way to school become her sole source of excitement, until one day she learns her classmate, main character girl's best friend, shares her passion. Together, they'll discover friendship, fun, and the adventures of the open road.
Also, Nick and James, if you want to come back into Orange Juice that you left for some reason.
He's not showing it on
I'm
screen
not showing the
anymore,
screen
so-
you're
anymore.
not? Oh, okay.
Because it just looked dumb.
Okay, makes sense.
So right now I have the picture, but I see wider in the middle, and I have the words under, and I made the big pill ball a bit bigger. Things I want to add off stream is I'm gonna put chat on there. I'm gonna change how the words are, so it's actually a list going down. So 1, 2, 3, whatever. So Mikey.
Okay. Alright, so this one was... Oh boy. This was very interesting to watch, because I felt some sort of personal connection to it, but I'll get into that later. So this one is very different from the other ones we've watched. This is a much more down-to-earth slice of life anime.
Even though it's not genred as that, it's only
Yeah.
genred as a sports anime.
What the fuck do
Really?
you mean?
I
don't know.
I guess
It still could be
I
slice
guess
of life. I'm
technically.
just saying. I'm looking at the wiki. It says genre sports.
they
Okay,
do go
fuck
into the
Wiki.
technicalities of the stuff of owning a motorbike, and they say the description says motorcycle. It's much more like a moped.
What
As you
brought you
see-
to this? You were the one who picked this, and you picked it to be different, which it definitely
Yes,
was. What
it did.
brought
Mhm.
you to choose this one out of any other different?
Mostly because, well, to be different, I wanted to choose a slice of life one, but I didn't want to choose the regular comedy slice of life like we see so often with Lucky Star and all the other ones. Blank on the name right now.
Yuri Club.
Yes, stuff like that.
So real quick, Mikey, you said you can't see this going anywhere past an hour and a half, or you just said an hour and a half.
Yeah, I didn't realize we were gonna go so long on.
I
that.
knew, dude. I knew we'll get in detail. I knew we'll fucking get into it. That's why.
Yeah.
That's what I was like. I wouldn't fucking.
Yeah, you're right.
I got shit to say.
Yeah, it's fair. So with Super Cub, oh boy, it details the life of a girl who lives a very boring life, and she finds something interesting to do in owning a motorbike, which she I don't remember how she came along about getting it exactly. I think she saw someone at school with it, and then just went the direction, and then got into it, and I think it does a very, very good job of like detailing the experiences that one person would have just dealing with owning a new advanced something like a car or motorbike or just anything, getting into something new completely by themselves.
Yeah.
And personally, as someone who is currently about to get into actually getting their license and driving, I feel like I'm going to like experience a lot of these things
So
with my car.
I'll interject really quickly. I actually will agree with you in this one. On the case
Yes.
of when I was watching this and I saw her fucking like watching her in the motorcycle, being nervous of it, like having a hard time falling asleep because she was worried about it. I sat there and I connected that because I was like, that's exactly with me in my first car. I would fucking constantly get up in the middle of the night, look outside, see my car's okay and everything was all right. I would fucking like want to get shit for whatever. So I get what you're getting at, and I do connect in that path. But my main opinions I'll get to in later.
Yeah. I believe it does a very good job at that.
Yeah, I think it did.
In the first episode.
I will give it that. It does that it does a really fucking good job at connecting with people like that.
Mm-hmm.
Continue with your thing.
And from there, this later having this motorbike, then expands her to have something to talk about with other people at school now, which she has a lot of trouble dealing with. She just doesn't have any friends or family or anything to connect with. And through this motorbike, she can finally connect with somebody else around.
Girl 2.
Mm-hmm.
And she does that with Girl 2.
There's even a fabled Girl 3 in the intro.
Not even a Fable Girl 3 intro.
It's very slow build, but it's definitely still there. And it's at a very relaxed pace. I don't believe it's going to be as in-depth or as romantic as Otherside Picnic will be. I believe it's just going to be friendship and finding meaning in one's life through this thing. It was also very nice to see her explore around her hometown, and well, not hometown, wherever she lives. Go to places she hasn't been to, as I like to do sometimes on my bike on my way home from work. I don't do it very often, like at all, but every now and then I will just take a scenic route and stuff. Go to some different store. It's very nice to see. It's a kind of slice of life that's very different from the ones you hear about so often that are so comedy based. I'm sure there are more out there like this, but I don't know of them personally. I don't explore the anime scene too much.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I appreciate how how slow paced it is, but not to a boring part. It still feels like it's not engaging, but you just want to know like what's gonna happen as it goes along, like because it goes from day to day to day, with repeating a lot of the same beats, but you just want to see what else she does, what gradual steps she takes of what she's doing, what she's gonna do different on each day. It reflects real life in a good way.
Yep.
One thing I do want to point out that will probably come up at the award show. I think this anime definitely has the best art style. It looks it captures the realistic style in a very good way, especially when it's at nighttime. Because at nighttime it looks so good how dark, like the contrast of the darks and stuff that's lit up at. There's a scene at a convenience store that looks so like realistic. I believe the contrast of the black of night, it actually looks like it's dark out, like how it would look in real life.
Mm-hmm.
That's the best way I can describe it. I'm sure if you watch this on an OLED TV, it would look amazing.
More than likely.
But yeah, that's most of what I have to say about it.
So,
Alright.
as I said before, I thought this was Super Club, showing how much I actually read before going into this. I am utterly charmed. I think this is definitely something not in my usual comfort zone. I would, like with serene background music, I would never look this up without someone else telling me to, but I'm glad I did. Because I wasn't feeling it too much in the first episode. Until like the last bit of the episode really got me in a very what's fucking
In a personal way.
I guess I'm trying to think. My mind is blanking because we said it before, like how relatable.
Okay.
There was one relatable moment. While I don't have any, I have very little experience driving and don't exactly have much interest into. But I do want to know from the people who do drive, being the later two. Apparently, you have to like Inuyasha to drive. Anyway.
Yes, that's true.
On how these will go, like these experiences and this technical know-how will go to people who actually own vehicles. But in the last episode, small spoilers, but really out of any show, me spoiling an event in this show doesn't feel
Yeah,
like
it don't matter too much.
wrong. She goes on a nighttime trip for the first time, and she runs out of gas. And she's nowhere near a gas station, and she freaks out. She doesn't know what to do. She doesn't have anyone to call. But through happenstance, remembers the manual put in one of the pockets of the vehicle, and reads it to learn that there is an extra fuel gauge, a reserve one, sees. And just that sense of panic to sudden relief I felt within the week I watched it, as I had a very similar feeling when my phone got dead,
Right.
where because I actually dropped my phone in the water, it slowly kept dying to the point where I couldn't charge it anymore. And my mother was out. I was the only one at the house, so I couldn't call her and tell her what's. So if she needed something from me, I couldn't help her. I couldn't call anybody. And I didn't want to go to work and not listen to stuff. Because
Right.
my work let me do that.
Right.
And I was freaking out because I didn't know what to do. I didn't have much money because of the previous thing that stressed me out about trying to get a hotel because personal stuff for my mother on her vacation. But it left me low on cash. And I thought, I don't got anything. I just have to wait, and I don't know how long I gotta wait. Until I remembered that there was a wad of cash I saved and didn't put into my bank account, like right next to my lamp. And it was just enough to buy a phone. And then I walked my ass to Walmart and felt like such a relief. And then more stress because I found I couldn't connect that phone to the plan I have. But, I felt relief in some way. And
I'm glad you brought that scene up.
that
I'm
was
sure
just
like
such
everyone here can feel that has a moment like that.
where you don't know what's gonna
Yeah.
happen. You think you fucked up. You think you're stranded, like you're doomed. Like,
Exactly.
but there's something that you. I also had a similar thing when I had a job where I needed to get a ride home or have did not have enough money, but luckily Uber lets you go over one time. Like I didn't have like the $20 because I didn't get paid yet to get home, and no one was home to pick me up. But I was able to go into the negative to get a ride back. That was such a good scene.
Yeah.
Also,
I
I loved it when like she first talks about or learns about the car of the motorbike, and all the mute colors brighten. That was
Oh yes,
so
yes,
nice.
that's right. That's
Like,
right.
Like you had nothing and you didn't care about anything, and then suddenly you care about something, and the world's just a bit brighter, and it's like, oh my god.
Yes. It shifts between the mute colors and the more colored things every now and then, depending on how the main character feels, basically. It doesn't happen too often, but it happened a few times, I noticed.
And I steadily got more interested in with each episode as they slowly go with like new mechanics of the bike, where we slowly learn about it and learn what it can do, what you need to do to fit well. Yeah, I don't know. I just felt myself like cheering for her when she was just smiling like a dude in the third episode. Like, yeah! I just felt very good watching this show.
Oh yes, it's very.
But it is slow.
Mhm.
It is slow, especially for anyone who likes more quick things. This is a leisurely stroll and is not gonna run anytime soon.
Which is my big gripe.
It's like an actual slice of life, like legit slice out of actual life.
Anyway, to someone who probably doesn't have as much high opinions, but I still respect them, Jigga, or Redrix.
Doesn't matter.
Redrix.
It doesn't matter.
All right. So I'm glad that you go first, because I'm not big on slice of life. I don't give a fuck about slow stories and quiet shit. So if I'm watching something, I want them to be talking. I want them to be going on.
I also noticed the music in this show a lot. Because there wasn't talking, I really liked the music in this show.
Yeah.
If it didn't have good music, I think it would have been a lot.
Yeah.
It has,
Most of
like,
it is just
so like
piano
so
pieces.
Yeah, piano
so,
pieces are
so that's why I said I'm glad you guys went first, because you're bring up a lot of good points. Like I said, my big gripe is the slowness. I don't like, how slow built up it is. Where there's just too many ironic things that comes up. Like when she got her fucking bike, she goes to a shop. Oh fuck, all these are too expensive. Oh, don't worry, I got this bike on sale. Perfect. She has the exact amount for it. Oh, you don't have a helmet. Luckily for you, we could give you a helmet. And like it just so happens that that's happening to her. And
I think it was just the shopkeeper being like nice because he knew this was a new owner of like someone getting into the motorbike thing.
yeah, but it was so like, hey, it's ironic that he has this. It's ironic that she has the exact amount. It's ironic that this, like, it's. I don't know.
To an extent, yeah, I can see it.
Like, it's not a bad show, and I do like the how it does a really good job with making you feel what it wants you to feel, and we're trying to connect with stuff with an experience. Like I said earlier, her looking at her car constantly, or looking at her motorcycle constantly, and being worried about it. That reminded me back when I got my first vehicle, or the sense of accomplishment, and whatnot. But I also think there's a lot of common sense fucking things, like how the hell don't you know that motorized vehicles need gas?
I think she knew that, but just forgot about it in the moment because she was so enamored with just taking it for a ride, like first night.
That very well might be the case. You might be right. But even when I got my first vehicle, and a lot of people do, like and I'm sure you'll be the same way. You're going to be staring at that fucking gas meter. Like that's going to be like your biggest fucking worry. Like I do not want to run out of goddamn gas.
And design of the car, it's like under a hub, so that's kind of. I don't know if other bikes are.
There's some bikes like that, yeah.
Oh yeah, I believe mopeds are just like that.
So I believe Super Cub is an actual motorcycle that was built, like a legit thing.
Oh yeah.
Hub.
Because it's a Honda, which is the funniest thing in the show to me is that they didn't go with it. They had to go with fucking Honda.
Yeah. Pretty sure Honda is a Japanese company.
There's a lot of Japanese companies. They can only tell you how to.
Yeah, it feels like that's the same thing where whenever a video game's shown in Japan, it's usually a play.
Yeah.
However, with it being so slow, I had a hard time just trying to keep myself tuned to it or pay attention to it. There wasn't enough going on to really keep my attention going for long, which is why this show is unfortunately at the bottom of my ranking right now. You guys definitely brought up a lot of good points, which I do see the show a little bit better now, but I can't necessarily say it's in my top. James, I'm going to pass it off to you.
I understand.
All right, so touching a little base with um, touching a little base with Nick on this one. This was, for me, actually, like mentioned, very charming. And I'm like Jacob, I'm not crazy about slice of lives. But honestly, just the first episode alone, those first 5-6 minutes of just quiet, minor background following this girl going through her house kind of pulled me in a little bit, because I'm not used to just such a slow-paced regular environment where someone's not doing something wacky every 5 seconds in a basic comedy anime or a comedy shonen, whatever the case. Normally, slice of life isn't my cup of tea, but like I found myself like reeled in by the fact that this was such a calm environment and such a the main character being a quiet girl with nothing and going through this little bit of like, finally I get a something. It's kind of what pulled me into it. When it took a slower pace, there wasn't any goofy pop-up chibi bullshit going on. Nothing like that was shoved in our faces to try to like give us a second gimmick, and you just kind of had to take the anime for what it was. And that's kind of why it pulled me in so much. And I find myself like looking back a little bit, like how did such a quiet environment, when I'm used to so much extra bullshit, end up kind of pulling it in towards my top versus just being something where I'd consider it boring typically and put it in at my bottom. It was extremely charming. Jacob, I definitely understand where you're coming from, because I level with slice of life's not being my gimmick. It's not something that generally pulled me in, but this one for some reason did it, and in the end of it, I can't 100% explain why. It just had this extra piece to it, this peaceful, calm look that made me just want to sit through this life she's slowly making for herself without the need for too much more than just what I'm seeing on screen. Since we've heard such descriptions of all the episodes, I really honestly don't have much more than I really enjoyed this little bit of a ride that the show gave me, and I think I'm going to continue it.
That other girl really likes bikes. Why?
Yeah, she's very excited about it. Now, James, if I can ask, do you think what kind of experience with other slice of life shows have you had? Has it been like the comedy ones like Lucky Star that I mentioned, or have you seen ones that are more down to earth?
I've seen ones that are a little bit more down to earth.
Okay.
One of them in probably the past year and a half was a little bit more of an emotional one. But they're very different shows in that regard. With how they handle themselves, and it's a little bit more of a louder environment with those. Example being, March Comes In Like a Lion.
Heard about that one.
It's just main character is really into shogi, and he just the brief summary: main character is into shogi, and with his adopted parents showing him how to get by with it, it shows him and his rivalry with a childhood friend and stuff like that. And it's a very, very artistic style anime with more comedy introduced in the midst of it and stuff like that. And I've seen a little bit more exclamatory ones like Oh, fuck. What's it called? It's the one with the
This is my first
the
sport.
zodiacs. Can't think of it.
Oh,
Fruits Basket.
Fruits basket. Yeah.
I like Fruits Basket. Yeah, this is my first sports anime, and the only real sports anime I ever hear are like the high energy ones that are like a shonen sport, like Haikyuu.
yeah, like I said, I'm pretty sure this is only classified as sports just because they go into more technical aspects of owning a motorbike, and even then, that's like
I wonder if this show's
tangential
more
to
like
sports.
any of like the car show. I wonder if this is similar to any of those. Maybe more quiet, but
Yeah,
this is also the show that uses the most of the ones we've seen.
oh yeah, for sure.
Anyone have anything else on this one?
I like the openings. I like the music in the show a bit more.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, it has a really,
Oh,
good, it has a really
pretty good
pretty,
score.
it has a pretty good soundtrack. I'll give it that.
And
Yeah,
I think I only
piano
notice
pieces.
it because of how quiet the show is.
Mhm.
Like with Jujutsu
Yeah.
Kaisen, I'm more focused on the characters talking and the action that I don't notice the music that much.
Which I think is their whole thing is, hey, notice the ambience.
Hey,
Yeah, exactly. They build up the ambiance
the ambiance.
when they're not
Ambiance.
in between any dialogue, which is a lot of stuff in between.
Yeah. Honestly, I meant to touch on that too, but I appreciate you bringing that up. That was one of the environments that the show brought up. Whether it be considered boring to those not into such slow paced or not, like it was part of that was definitely the feelings that the music brought on to like keep you at the very least present for the things that were for between transfers of scenes and stuff like that. That's kind of what it made it so charming to me, was just it was refreshing to see something so different from what I'm used to. And if I had seen something between a faster and slower pace, I don't think it would have captivated me. It was just so different, which made it enough for me to be interested in.
Mm-hmm.
But I really got no more on that.
Yeah, I'm all good.
But the last one, we all got something to say about this.
Oh lord, do I have
Oh
something to say about
boy, dude, I
this?
fucking love this next one.
Oh,
Hold up. And our next and final show of the evening. Mushoku Tensei, a jobless reincarnation. When a 34-year-old underachiever gets run over by a bus, the story doesn't end there. Reincarnated in a new world as an infant, Rudy will seize every opportunity to live the life he's always wanted. Arrive with new friends, some freshly acquired magical abilities, and the courage to do things he always dreamed of. He's embarking on an epic adventure with all of his past experience intact. I have a lot to say on this one, so
Yeah.
Mikey, go ahead and take it.
All right, starting
This is-
off.
This is a fantasy, harem, and isekai show.
Yes, is definitely. Oh, harm? Okay, yeah, I guess so. Alright, starting off, I will definitely say the premise for this one is really unique and really cool.
Also,
About-
three of us, like last one, all saw this together.
Yes.
Where I kind of
the
like
first
that, but also
episode.
I feel like it depends on the show, because I definitely think I would have a different opinion of Super Cub if we all watched that together.
Yes, definitely.
I liked watching that on my own, at my own pace.
For sure. Yeah, but the premise for this one, like I said, pretty unique, very interesting, about a underachiever, as they call it in the description. He is a fucking neat loser in the modern
Weeb.
time. who
What a
gets-
bus!
Yeah, no, he's worse than us. He's
Yeah,
much worse
need in
than us.
need in Japan really means a lot worse
No.
than
Yeah,
just a person.
we have
who,
jobs.
Like, yeah, he doesn't got shit.
This guy was a 34-year-old loser in his pigsty of a cabin, probably watching illegal porn from one of the scenes alluded to.
Or just porn.
Where's Bart?
Yeah, probably just porn.
Let's just assume for
Yeah. My first thought was much darker. But anyway, he gets run over by a bus. He's reincarnated in a fantasy world of swords and magic and stuff, as a child, obviously.
Which actually isn't the most obvious thing. Some people just get put in as themselves.
Right.
Yeah,
Like
and
not
get
a lot
the
of
isekai,
a lot of them
yeah.
are born again. Some are just kind
Yes.
of up here
Right.
or get summoned. But
And he still has the brain and thought process as he did when he was an adult before he died, but now in the body of a child. Which we'll get into how I think of that later. But the fantasy world itself, I think, is pretty well done, especially with the magic system. How they do, which they go into. The main character dives into very much, like hardcore as a kid, to hone it as best he can, which is a cool angle. Upon you'd see in other isekai of, I guess it's different from other isekai because people don't always get reincarnated as kids. But in other isekai, you see people come to the world and just have these powers or whatever they had in the whatever abilities they had in the video game or whatever. If it's a video game isekai,
or if they brought their phone to the fantasy time and now it's super powerful because
Yes. But
Getting
with
into
this-
specifics, but yeah.
but with this one, you see this kid get born into it and raised from the ground up, or raises himself from the ground up, how to use magic. I like the detail they go into of how he hones it and eventually gets better than. Actually, I shouldn't. Yeah, it's too much into spoilers.
he gets real good.
He gets very good at magic. Just say that. I really like. Oh boy. Okay. There are parts of
Give it
this
to
I
us.
like and some parts I dislike. I really do like the kind of the human element that this guy faces of basically growing up again, overcoming some hardships that he faced while in his old life, and some new experiences like making actual friends in it.
Hmm.
But he still has the mind while being in the mind of an adult, basically.
Yeah, I
But in the
really, I
body
really
of a
like
kid.
like, hey, I'm not a fucking like happy ass kid that gets along with everybody. If he
Yes.
starts off with him as a fucking shy ass kid, I appreciate that out of the fucking show.
When they play into that and in the body of a kid, it just comes off as he's a very gifted kid who's very mature for his age and is snarky when it comes back, and that's cool. There's other times where it's played for jokes. It's very rare. Well, not very rare, but it's rare enough. And the jokes are pretty good for the most part, but I felt towards the third episode that the tone of it, of this boy making a friend, and what happened in it, the tone of it felt a lot more serious and down to earth. And that when the jokey part of the guy being an adult in the kid's body came up, I felt the tonal shift was very jarring and kind of unneeded. It kind of broke the not tension, it just broke the moment though. Because a lot of the jokes that come from this guy, a lot, but some of them are sexual. There's a weird amount of sexual stuff in this, like.
I
And
find
it's-
that weird too because it is not classified as an etchy, which is
Yeah.
something I'll get into whenever I talk.
I don't think it qualifies as being ichi, but there's enough sex things to be brought up, but in a realistic sense, honestly, for the most part, aside from the jokes.
But in all honesty, you get reincarnated, you got hot ladies around you, you're a fucking baby. You're
Yes, that's true. I
You're
get
really
that
not,
part.
you're
That was
not
a
gonna
good
take
joke.
advantage of that. Take advantage of that. Like you're a fucking child. No one's gonna hold that shit against you. Like you're a fucking
Yes,
baby. Who the fuck thinks that a baby's gonna actually go to panties because they're a fucking perverted asshole?
Exactly. That was like one of the first jokes they did.
Mm-hmm.
But I just feel sometimes because they happen, those kind of jokes and sexual situations come up so far and few in between that the rest of the show, with its kind of little more serious, not completely serious, and down to earth, like learning about the world and this kid forming his relationships. It's more focused on that for the most of it. That when those jokes and moments do come up, it's a lot more jarring than I feel like it needs to be. That brings it down a little bit for me, but I definitely say I I'm definitely enjoying those more serious moments, like very much so, especially in the third episode, which I'll not spoil what happens at all. That was a good one.
Yep.
And maybe the ending theme for this one was probably one of my favorites.
Oh yeah.
Visually, it looks pretty damn good. I'm a sucker for high fantasy.
Bro, that first fucking
setting styles.
That first spell, like the animation
yes.
on that was so fucking good.
Oh yeah, the special effects on the spells and abilities are really good.
His first spell and his last spell were real good.
I think my favorite thing is how they fucking like showed like 3 spells. You knew that you could tell like they spent a lot of money in the budget to do those spells. And then the final scene of the first episode is just fucking like cutouts because they couldn't afford it anymore. Which like I'm not gonna hold against them, but like that was just funny.
Yeah. But yeah, that's most of my opinion.
Most of my opinion, I have that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'll leave that up to you then.
This, like I said before, was one of those shows we watched together. Or at least 3 of us.
I'm down to watch episode
Fuck
4.
you, James.
I'm down to watch episode 4 together.
There's the other one that I think enhanced by us watching at least the first episode together. As where Super Cub, I think it would de-hance it. I like fantasy shit. I like the idea of learning a system, getting the ins and outs, and then breaking it. That is the funnest part of any RPG, is when you know what's going on and you know how to get the best results out of it. And seeing someone do that, and kind of just use fighting game terms.
Right?
Not that real. What?
You cut out.
Cut out for a second.
I find it really funny with how he uses fighting game term to solve magic. Just think that's a fun
Yeah.
way. With that, see, like the first episode we watched dubbed, but then I watched the rest subbed, just because it was the first thing there. And because also the Funimation app on PS4 fucking sucks.
Yeah, the Funimation app is not the best.
But I dealt with it. I find it very interesting with, as you said, with those sex jokes, because at first I was like, eh? But then I thought about it more, especially with the second episode. I think this is more of a characterization for the main character, are these sexual jokes.
Yes, I agree.
Especially since, besides 2 instances, and even then there really only 1 instances, no one else really acts. And like, again, until I looked this up, I didn't know this was or wasn't ecchi. This is a harem though, so that part I'm like wondering how well they do. But
yeah,
with the title of the show translating to "If I Go to Another World, I Will Try," and how he's kind of a degenerate, I think it makes sense with him having these types of jokes. Until the second episode where the mentor leaves, and there's no jokes or thoughts about that. He genuinely is thankful for what she's done for him.
That was second episode, right?
yes.
Okay, so
Yes.
Green Hair Girl is in the first 3.
The
Yeah, I
Green
thought
Arrow
that
was in
was-
the third one.
Very
Okay.
interesting.
Okay. Because the only reason I bring
I
this
do
up is
admit-
because I did one, because this was the show I brought up, and so I watched more of it than the first 3 when I brought it up. So so just like James, but then when it came to Yashahime, I'm gonna have to try my hardest to keep this down to the first 3.
Cheaters. Anyway, I enjoy the slow progression of power, and that yes, he is full in magic, but he's not. Because I feel like a lot of isekai just kind of go for power fantasy, where you're stronger than anything. I turn on all the cheat codes. I'm invincible. Max stats. Or at least the not fun one. The fun ones play with that. Either they play with you being the strongest and make jokes out of that, or work with that, or he's bad in other areas, which he is. He's not a good swordsman. He's not a good talker. And he's still a child, so he's not very strong. But he has magic. So I kind of like that. Not to go into spoilers, but this guy's fucking life sucked.
Yeah.
Like, all other isekai dudes I've seen never have had a life this bad. Even if they just died, this dude had it rough.
Capital
And that
R.
really kind of sold it for me. I think that really sold it for me for his character. He wasn't just, haha, man, this girl's stupid. My dad doesn't always talk about. Yeah. That actually really sold me on who this guy was. I like, because I feel like in a show that's more about making jokes and just doing something, this really is good at telling the world and showing me stuff that seems interesting, where in other shows, Naruto, I didn't care. I
Agreed.
very much did care about where this world is and what it's doing, and even the other characters. In any other show, the dad would have never gone character mode. Like, in any other, like, reincarnation ecchi show, again, this isn't ecchi, but I was still wondering that while watching it for the first 3 episodes, they would have never given him a character, like, moment like that, and leading to the 3rd episode, where they really bonded.
Oh yeah,
And I really liked that.
that was a good moment. Like in other shows, the parental figure would just be like stubborn, stuck in their ways.
Yeah, he would have been seen like basically just another obstacle, or an
Yeah.
asshole, or just like, yeah, that's okay, and not care at all.
Yeah, exactly.
I really liked it. I really like the flow. The only thing I think might hold people back, as I say that about the sexual stuff, but as you said, it still didn't jive well with you.
Hmm.
And I feel like that'll happen for a lot more people, especially anyone who's not used to this. I had a big moment when I was first watching it where I just went through a bunch of harem ichi shows. Just like a bunch, and I've desensitized myself. So like I'm like, oh, this isn't that bad. But in context, maybe someone who hasn't seen the worse than that. No one's clothes explode, alright?
Oh yeah, no, the
Nobody's
no,
clothes explode.
no, the thing is, the sex jokes themselves are nowhere near that bad, like at all. But it's the contrast of the otherwise more exploring the world, adventurous, down to earth, serious tone, whatever's going on with it, and when those moments come up, because like I said, they're few and far between.
It feels like the one blemish I might, if I wanted to recommend someone who isn't too into anime, but does like this type of thing, it might be the one blemish where it's like, I don't know if I should or not.
Yeah.
And reading that this is a harem and knowing a little bit about what happens next, I'm interested and maybe or maybe not worried. So,
So that has me curious.
still has me curious. I'm very interested. Water. Anyway,
Yes, water.
he made water. I like water.
Water.
You really did.
Alright, is that it for you now?
Yeah.
Alright. So like I said earlier, this show I recommended because I watched, I was fortunate to watch the first like 9 episodes of it already.
9.
Cheater. He's a cheater. He cheated.
I'm a huge fan of isekais. I like a lot of isekai shows. I think but so far this has been one of my favorites because it does a really good job of almost differentiating themselves from the other isekais, where he's not overpowered, he's not super confident, he's not like easily super likable, but like he almost has like the first. Fuck, hold up.
Also, he was in fact a loser, not just a guy with a board.
Yeah, he was an actual
There's
fucking.
a big difference in that. He had a real shitty
Mhm.
life.
You know, he kept his intelligence so that like his big advantage was he kept his memories. Every isekai, or majority of all isekais, they all keep their memories from previous life, so it's not like it's any fucking different from this, except here that's his only advantage. He uses that advantage to get a further ahead in this new life. I think it was Nick touched on earlier, when he was learning the magic, he compared it to video games, he compared it to other shit, so other than bringing this long as incantation, he knew how to simplify it, and he knew how to visualize it, and he was able to just do it. And that was just cool as fuck to see. Visually, when they do the spells, they all look fantastic. It doesn't just look stupidly hand-drawn or CGI or whatever the fuck. They put pretty good work into their animation for it.
Special effects.
Yeah.
Special effects. Special effects.
I'm just trying to think so I don't get too far ahead of the show. I think they did a good job bringing in a girl for like only 2 episodes, but show her enough to get you strongly attached to her. So when she departs, you're sitting like, wait, don't go, come back.
Yeah, that's true.
That's pretty good.
Then you mean green hair girl who, hey, dumbass doesn't think it's the fucking. Oh wait, did they get that far?
It's a little too. Yes, we did, but I feel like that's still a little too much into spoilers.
Yeah, we just met her and had the one incident with her, and now became friends with her.
I don't got a lot of gripes with the show, to be honest. Like, I think it's been pretty easy in pace. I think they've been doing a good job with showing progression, showing that he's not overpowered. He has one like everybody else. He's just using his common knowledge of previous life to make it easier.
I feel like that's a very interesting angle for it to go at.
Yeah, like when he does his super ultimate move, it wasn't he just fucking has a super ability. He's just like, hey, in my previous life, there was goddamn tornadoes and rainstorms. I could probably just create that, and just does.
They create a very good reason as to why he's able to use these amazing abilities. Well, not amazing. Well, yeah, amazing, but
amazing.
And one of the things
relatively amazing.
One thing I look forward to, and I hope they touch more upon, is his swordsmanship. Like, okay, he knows all this magic. Let's see him be good at both, though, because they explained how his dad was a master swordsman.
You see him slowly training, but he does seem to be much slower.
He seems a lot slower at it. But like, he was a hermit in his past life, so naturally he's going to learn more intelligent magic over brawn swordsmanship. But I think with his interest in it and whatnot, he's going to hopefully pick it up soon, or pick it up later on down in life. Other than that, that's basically it. What I got, James. James?
Yeah,
Here you go.
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought I completely there for a second.
Very good.
All right. So my go on that one.
Yep.
Yeah, and jobless reincarnation.
Go.
Yep. All right. Honestly, for someone who's watched many isekai at this point, this one was kind of refreshing in the regards to playing the character how it did. I'm gonna being last here. I'm gonna touch base on a lot of similar areas I thought was enjoyable for this. But the one that did it for me was kind of touching base a little bit on the fact that as a what I thought was a cliche in a previous anime in our list here, being reclusive the way he was and kind of playing with his fears and incorporating them as a part of his new childhood in this show was kind of refreshing a bit to me, just because he had to face, regardless of him being a 34-year-old man trapped in a newborn's body, as he was growing up, he had to start to begin to face these outside fears of the world that he couldn't deal with and saw so much fear of. That played to the darker tone of the show, and it kind of brought me into it a little bit more than I thought I was going to. I went in thinking this is going to be another garbage, like a garbage premise isekai anime, and I'm going to hate it, and there's going to be nothing to love about it because it's going to be among in a pile. Because as you guys may be aware of, it's like it's the anime to produce right now.
Yeah.
There's so fucking many isekai animes, whereas to the if we looked at about 5-10 years ago, harems were the thing. We don't care if we make a good one, but make sure to keep making harems.
Make sure you make one, right?
That is like the current era of anime. Aside from typical shonens is isekai. And I actually really... It's hard to directly state aloud where I'd place it, but I actually just really overall enjoyed this one because it didn't have a, like you guys were talking about, a overpowered premise. Just he's good at a singular thing and he relates that to something that he's seen in a previous life, and he kind of digs more on that, but they show that he's like, hey, he's not good at everything, and that's part of getting to see the character build up to see how he's gonna turn out. This is one I'm definitely gonna finish because I just like the concept of being reborn at such a young age, like direct from childhood. Because I'm not sure if you guys have seen Tanya the Evil.
Seen a couple episodes.
I've seen the first episode.
Yeah, I've seen a little bit.
That's actually, of all the isekais I've watched, that's the only one I've seen that gives main character a fresh start from childhood, and that's...
I know there's one other that does that, and it's much less fantasy, but still will. I don't remember the name of it though. It'll be interesting.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not saying it's the one that hasn't been done. It's just of the startup so far, Tanya kind of had a darker vibe to it. This one's like a little bit more lighthearted, with some minor darker tones of the dude's life. But I don't know. I don't have too much more to expand upon about what you guys have presented thus far. I genuinely like it for what it's going for, and I'm excited to see more.
Mm-hmm.
Fun fact, apparently this was published on an internet web novel website before it actually got a book.
Oh, cool.
That's cool.
I also got like a mobile game with a funny title. What was it? Smartphone game was translated to Musho Tensei. I'll seriously try, even if it's made into a game. Was released early 2020.
Anything else from anybody from this one?
Just for a thing of, this was definitely the one that kind of, just to see how fun it was. This is definitely what kind of got me into going along with this idea of watching anime that I really wouldn't watch, and then talking about it here. I think this one was a good start to it.
I'm almost
a good one. You recommended a good one,
yes.
Jacob. You recommended a good.
See, I know good animes, because I knew I had to choose one that gets you guys drawn into it, and I'm glad you guys are getting more into it. Like, I was able to convince you guys, and so you guys actually get into it. This is something I wanted to do for a while.
I haven't watched anime in years.
Yeah, this is something I want to do for a while. It'd be cool to get together and watch episodes, dissect them in live, but, live.
True, but again, I also think there are some shows I'd rather watch.
Oh yeah.
Like in the morning when I get up and gives me a good day.
So to wrap this up, we hit the part of the show where we're going to choose one show to fuck, one show that we would like to marry, one show we would like to kill. The show that has the most kills, but that we get the least amount of points to, gets voted out. That's it. We will never touch upon it again. Or what I might actually do is, if one of us decides to carry on with the show, we could have a special segment at the end where you can hit upon it, like, hey, this stuff happened, I think this is cool. Might be a reason to continue watching.
The show that gets killed will not be discussed upon within the show itself, but anyone who
yes,
wants to watch it.
But this it'd be like final scenes. Okay, this is whatever.
You will be voted off the island, board the boat of losers, and leave for.
Do not collect $200.
Do not collect $200.
Not collect $200. Now again, what's the difference between fuck and marry? Because I know kill's the bad one. What's the difference between fuck and marry?
Fuck is something that you fuck with. Something like, I'm enjoying it highly. I might not come back to it, but I'll fuck with it right now. Marry is something. Hey, I'm having so much fun with this show. I will later a couple of years, I might come back to it. Like those probably a show I rewatch over and over again.
You're committed to it.
Like, yeah, you're committed to this show.
And Kill is obviously the one that you don't.
Yeah, Kill's the one
Vibe
you
with the
did
most.
not. Yeah. So we'll go back down the line. Mikey, give us your fuck, marry, and kill.
All right.
Should we type it out in our Discord thing? So we
No,
have...
we can just. I think we can just give our
we can discuss
opinions as we go down the line.
And if there's a
Okay.
tie, we'll figure something out.
Yeah. All right. So starting off, I I had watched the one I'm going to choose for fuck is that was called Jujutsu Kaisen.
Jujutsu Kaisen.
I had watched all 3 episodes just yesterday, all in a row. It was a rarely fun ride, and I definitely want to see more. It's just fun overall. I love the concept. I love the execution. A lot about it. I do want to see more.
Mm-hmm.
But the one I want to marry is I would put towards Super Cub, just because it like I said, it hits on that personal level. It's very cozy. I value the feelings I get from it more than Jujutsu, which is the coziness, the engagement, all that stuff. I want to see the end of it, like, really bad, and just be along for the ride. And the one I choose for kill, unfortunately, might have to be Yashahime, like I alluded to earlier, of it just being the weakest overall to me personally, where the other anime, like Jujutsu Kaisen, I feel does a lot of what it does better, in my eyes.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, I'm not the target audience like everyone else elaborated upon, not having seen the first 2 episodes of Inuyasha, and that's it.
Mm-hmm. Nick,
So yeah.
give us your fuck, marry, and kill.
This is pretty hard. I liked a lot of these shows. I thought I
Yeah,
had a
difficulty
pretty
too.
clear-cut one, but I keep bouncing back and forth between fuck and marry, between Super Cub and Jobless Reincarnation. I keep going back and forth. I'm liking both of these for completely different. If not those, it would have been Jujutsu Kaisen, like my 3-tier thing. And
Mhm.
I'm struggling between Yashahime and Otherworld Picnic. Even though I picked it, I'm not sure which one I want to kill more. I like the mystery and the ideas with Picnic, but I do see the potential of Yashahime being fun, but knowing that I am barely the target audience. I remember the characters. I didn't see much past some of the early stuff. I'm trying to think if I really want to put it down there just because I'm not in the audience. If there's a tie between the two, then I'll pick, but right now I kind of have both down there. Of Yashahime and Otherworldly Picnic, Otherside Picnic.
Okay, what's your fucking marry? Those you said between Super Cub and Jobless.
Yeah, Super Cub and Jobless.
All right.
The one you want over the other?
My fuck, marry, kill.
Yeah.
My fuck is Yashahime. I unfortunately am part of that audience that they were targeting, and I was able
There's
to
no
see
reason to say so.
and maybe in a lot seeing things do logical stuff with the anime and whatnot. I had a lot of fun with it. My marry is hands down Jobless Reincarnation. The show does everything that it should do perfectly, and I didn't have anything too bad to say about it when I was out talking about it. I was trying my hardest to even think about, like, there has to be a gripe I have with it, and I just couldn't think of anything.
I recommended it.
My kill, I would put it on Super Cub, but however, since I don't want Yashahime to leave, I'm gonna put it on Otherside Picnic, because that was my runner-up for.
Now that I don't like that. I don't want to.
You're basing your opinion
No,
on our
Here,
picks.
no, I know, but here's the thing. Before the show even started, I was a tie on both of them. After hearing you guys' sides in Super Cup, I was able to see it more on that side, which is why I'm not putting my vote on that one. But Otherside Picnic,
That's fine.
they were still a tie
Okay.
between both of them.
I do kind of want like to test with this, but maybe next time we test with us writing down at least the kill, and we all post it, and we know what we feel like before the others. But yeah, that's fine.
fair.
Because I told you guys before, I wasn't getting to Otherside Picnic.
Yeah, no, that
Yeah.
was. I understand. That's why I have it down there too. I've got a little bit of grapes.
All right, James, fuck, marry, and kill.
All right. So my fuck is honestly, it's also gonna be Jujutsu Kaisen.
Yeah.
It
Juju.
it kind of brought me in so refreshingly to like a different style of action horror that I'm not quite used to, and enough so that the high energy kind of gets the blood rushing a little bit with what's going on there. That was a fun experience. And I love Yashahime, and I do have a little bit of a head start. I for me, once I realized that the target audience was kind of a gimmick, it didn't put it into keep in mind it didn't put it into my kill area. It just, once I realized it was a target gimmick, a target audience gimmick, I was like, okay, I get it. It's fun, but like if they would have, I feel like they could. There's areas where they could have expanded upon to make it fun for all audiences, and that's kind of why it's not. It doesn't just jump into my fuck area. Mary, it is definitely Super Cub for its cozy environmental like aspects that I'm just not used to with any show that I've watched. Again, not a slice of life guy, but it just, for some reason, it brought me into. Wait, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Was he cutting out for
we
anyone
can hear
else,
you.
or was it
No.
just me?
I think it was
Yeah,
just you.
yeah.
I heard him fine.
Okay, continue on.
Yeah, so Super Cub is my Mary just for the soul aspect of it's such a different take on something that still had me sitting up in my chair, kind of like watching and
Engaged.
listening. Yeah, I wasn't ready for that show to be what it was to me personally, and getting to like almost reminisce in times of maybe not specifically to cars, maybe not specifically to riding a motorcycle for the first time for me, but more in the aspect of that first time and like breaking out of shell. It kind of led me to go into that nostalgic feeling where I've never been that heavy of a quiet person, but I'm introversial in the regards that I can't just approach people.
Yeah,
And,
same here.
but if you get me going on, I don't know, Inuyasha. If you get me going on a show or something that I'm interested in, that like shatters it for me. So having like getting to like level with the character, the main character, in the regard she finally has something to like talk to someone about.
So I'm gonna plant a future seed. If we continue this show any further, we do get into it. If we hit upon a 2000 show theme, I think let's try to get Inuyasha in there for these two.
Oh God.
But continuing with you, James.
Oh yeah, I'll shorten that up because like
you're good.
Super Cub, as essentially my waifu pick for this, there's a lot I could expand upon in that.
Ooh,
I will
go through waifus.
I will.
Got wife, waifu, and trash. Those are the
You,
three
James, you're
things.
just giving me good ideas.
Be looking out for that, honestly.
So shortening it up a little bit, yeah, I'm just gonna say Mary was that Super Cub, and my kill is gonna have to be, unfortunately, Other Picnic. There was things I liked about it a lot, and there's things that I it's not even to say that I obviously for discussion purposes, this is where I'm out on it, but it's not to say I don't have any interest in continuing it. I actually have a lot of interest in continuing all
Mm-hmm.
of these, but Other Picnic's just the one that kind of brought me in the
Mhm.
least.
I think Other Side Picnic is a show I will hit upon again later on in life. Maybe we do get rid of it today. However, I'm gonna wait till it gets into dub before I do so.
Yeah, it's not that it has nothing going for it. That's definitely not it. It's just it had me least involved, and that's the only reason it got put into the
Mhm.
It
bottom.
didn't perform as high as the other ones.
Yeah, comparatively, it didn't speak to me quite the same way that the other ones did. So that would be my personal kill.
Lesbian guns,
All right.
no.
Alright, Nick.
It's my dog. I'll get rid of her.
Yeah. Well, it seems like today the verdict is the kill one on the chopping block is Other Side Picnic.
I like the intrigue of the mystery. I think that's something it has over everyone else. I like the third episode in learning a mechanic of the world and explaining it and having to deal with it. But I do think for comparativeness, it didn't stand out as much as the other ones had a chance to in their own.
Yeah, that's true.
Super Cub got to be very slow and methodical, which this show kind of was, but also kind of wasn't.
Because Super Cup had that loveliness of it. Other Side Picnic, I think it got good way too late. I think
Yes,
we
it
would have
was
judged. I
definitely
think.
a slowly budding thing.
I think if we would have judged this show or judged these shows off the first 5 episodes, my vote would have went somewhere else. But the first 3, I thought it was definitely the weaker of the 5.
We're also not from Japan, so the folklore thing, like with, here's a direct comparison. Yokai Watch, that show is that series does so much better in Japan than here, and that's based on yokais and folk tales. So I think that also we didn't have that direct connection that this show might have had.
So
if any of us
so
was
now,
more
lads,
into
what we
Japan.
do is we take this Other Side Picnic poster
I'm sorry, gun lesbian.
and we
Sorry.
dump this shit into our pill bottle to forever be memorized in our show. Oh shit! As I move my whole fucking stream.
Oh, what?
Right into the bio pill bottle.
Let me also just being this the first this being the first one, I think for future reference we should definitely look into both going into strictly brand new concepts only regarding yashahime and in the picks on the yashahime. The direct bias that we have going in, Jacob, I feel gives it like an unfair advantage in the listings.
Which
I
I
mean,
understand,
true,
but
but
I was
also,
also
as we-
looking through it as a anime standpoint. I had a license, even if I didn't want to, because I'm not unlike you. I didn't watch all of Inuyasha, but I knew I watched enough of where I knew enough about it to where I had fun with this with all the flashbacks. But I had fun. But the thing I like about the anime, I just like the anime overall, even if it didn't hit upon all those didn't watch the shit. So I wasn't trying to do a bias on that.
Yeah, I was trying to and I stayed away from that as much as I could either. It didn't even make it into my like fuck, marry, kill in regards to what I was excited about with this listings. And I'm not like completely against the idea in the future, but also the thing I feel bad most about with it being that one in particular being in my listings was I watched 20 to 25 episodes before this concept was a thing in our group.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it was so hard to not.
So the thing is, I'll say with this show is, if the next 3 episodes doesn't captivate either Nick or Mikey, or both of them, I will be willing. I'll probably also end up putting it out as well. That's next to my chopping block if it does not get better.
We have to keep an eye on it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
That's
very
the
well
point.
might. seeing as it's a shonen and it's gonna have a lot of episodes.
Now this is my only source of lesbians, and they're all related. Damn it! No,
I don't think it's gonna go that way.
no.
Jobless Reincarnation gets bumped down to show number 4. Super Club gets bumped down to show number 3. Yashahime gets bumped down to show number 2. Other Side Picnic is gone from our fucking list.
I definitely was not really expecting that. I kind of thought Super Cub was gonna be in the chopping block for some of you guys.
So I have a lot of
right.
problems with Super Club. Well, I don't like how slow it is, whatnot, and the quietness of it. But as you guys brought up, and is that those moments are fucking cool. Of, hey, I can relate to a lot of shit she's going through, and they do a good job trying to portray them and feel what you want, feel what they want you to feel. And visually, it's pretty nice.
I still remember when all the colors immediately went unmuted.
So when I went into this, which is why I don't want to do the Discord thing, is I had the tie between Super Club and I forgot the name of Other Side Picnic.
Yeah, sure.
Other Side Picnic.
Yeah.
I was tied between those, so I wanted to hear yours and Mikey's thoughts on those two because I knew you two would have got the most into them, and that kind of helped me clear up my mind a little bit on what I wanted to do.
That's fair. I just don't want us to be voting just to keep one in because we
No.
or to a tie just because we know we'll make a tie.
No, I generally like Yashahime, and I like Super Club a little more. Not much more, but a little more.
I get it.
Yashahime is something was a show I'd be willing to get rid of if it doesn't fit you guys next time.
There's got to be a winner somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
We'll
Yeah.
find out who.
It's gonna come down to one eventually.
Next time on Anime Gateway. You gotta play the ending theme song here.
I'll get Zach. I got DMCA free anime hit playlist going on right now. So I guess it's fun. We'll be back in 2 weeks with another episode, and we'll go over the next 3 episodes. So episode 4, 5, and 6 of Jujutsu Kaisen, Yashahime, Princess Half Demon, Super Cub, and Jobless Reincarnation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Until then, I'll see you all next time. Later.
Bye, weebs.